Constantine III, also known as Flavius Constantius, was the 82nd emperor of the Roman Empire. His reign, though brief and marked by challenges, plays a significant role in the turbulent history of the late Roman Empire, particularly in the Western Roman Empire's decline. Born in 380 CE, Constantine III was likely the son of an influential general or noble family, although the precise details of his early life remain unclear. His lineage is debated, with some sources suggesting he may have been related to Emperor Constantius II, or at least belonged to a military family with strong imperial connections. The historical narrative surrounding Constantine III's rise to power is somewhat fragmented, as he emerged during the late stages of the Western Roman Empire, a period characterized by military instability, internal strife, and external threats. After the death of Emperor Honorius in 423 CE, the Western Roman Empire was left with a power vacuum. Constantine, who held the rank of Magister Militum, Master of Soldiers, at the time, took advantage of this vacuum. As a skilled military leader, he used his influence over the army to claim the imperial purple in 407 CE, effectively becoming emperor. In the context of a weakening Western Roman Empire, several usurpers had previously sought to claim the throne. Constantine III, however, was able to solidify his rule primarily through support from the military rather than traditional imperial backing from Rome. He quickly assumed control of Britain, Gaul, and parts of Hispania, which were territories under Roman control, but increasingly difficult to manage due to barbarian invasions and internal disarray. Constantine's appointment as emperor was not universally recognized, and his claim to the throne was contested by other factions within the empire. Constantine III's control was largely based in Gaul, and he sought to stabilize his rule by consolidating power in the western provinces. He made several attempts to negotiate peace with the Visigoths and other barbarian groups in the region, but the geopolitical situation remained volatile. Constantine III's reign was characterized by his attempt to address several major crises that plagued the Western Roman Empire during this period. The empire was under constant threat from external forces, most notably the Visigoths, Vandals, and Franks, who were encroaching on Roman territory. The internal turmoil was equally dire, with weak central leadership, economic instability, and declining military discipline. In 409 CE, Constantine III embarked on a military campaign to defend Roman Britain, which was increasingly under threat from Saxon invasions. To do so, he withdrew many of the troops stationed in Gaul, weakening his position there. His efforts to defend Britain were ultimately unsuccessful, as he was unable to prevent the Saxon incursions and maintain his military commitments to the rest of the empire. Additionally, Constantine III's reign coincided with a weakening of Rome's central authority. The Western Empire had been in decline for several decades, and while Constantine III did what he could to stem the tide of barbarian invasions, he faced significant challenges in keeping the empire's territories intact. Constantine III's reign was brief and marked by instability. After his failed campaign in Britain, he faced mounting pressure from both external enemies and rivals within the empire. In 411 CE, a coalition of Roman senators and generals opposed to his rule, led by Constantius, the future emperor Constantius III, managed to organize a rebellion against him. In response to this rebellion, Constantine III attempted to fortify his position by aligning with the barbarian groups that were threatening the empire, including the Visigoths. However, his diplomatic strategies were ultimately unsuccessful, and in 411 CE he was forced to surrender to the forces led by Constantius, who was backed by the imperial court. Constantine III was captured and brought to the Eastern Roman Empire. His final fate remains somewhat obscure, but it is believed that he was executed shortly after his surrender, marking the end of his short and turbulent reign. His death sealed the decline of the Western Roman Empire, which would eventually fall to the forces of the barbarian invasions by the mid-5th century. Constantine III's brief reign is often overlooked in the larger narrative of the decline of the Western Roman Empire, but it serves as a reminder of the chaotic and fragmented nature of the empire in its final decades. His attempt to hold together the Western provinces during a time of intense external and internal pressures was ultimately unsuccessful, and his reign illustrates the difficulties faced by any emperor attempting to manage the crumbling Western Roman Empire. Although Constantine III did not leave behind a lasting legacy of successful military or political reforms, his rule nonetheless provides valuable insight into the disintegration of Roman authority in the West. His struggle against the barbarians and his eventual defeat underscore the challenges faced by emperors in the latter days of the Western Roman Empire, an empire that was no longer able to assert its dominance across the Mediterranean world. In many ways, Constantine III's reign marks the end of an era in which the Western Roman Empire was still able to field a semblance of centralized imperial authority. The eventual fall of the empire, which culminated in the deposition of the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, in 476 CE, was in part foreshadowed by the events of Constantine III's brief tenure on the throne. Though Constantine III may not be remembered as a significant ruler in the grand historical context, his role as one of the last emperors in the Western provinces serves as a poignant symbol of the decline of Roman power in the West, as well as the challenges faced by imperial leaders in the face of an increasingly fragmented and hostile world.